You are listening to the Cattle Call podcast. This is the place where computer-aided design and drafting meets humor and practicality, with a touch of business acumen thrown in for fun. Jim and Rocco, the owners of ZenTek Consultants, the premier U.S. technology consulting firm for architecture, engineering, construction, and manufacturing, discuss the fascinating world of CAD with some humor and some honesty. The Cattle Call podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Cattle Call podcast with Jim and Rocco from ZenTek Consultants. I am Jim, your host, bringing all the witticisms and jocularity to the show. And with me, as always, is my partner,
Rocco.
You see, no witticisms, no jocularity, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you're all forced to suffer through the engineering joke of the week, because Rocco gives me such lame intros. So, all right. So you know what? I went back to an old standby here, Rocco, for this week, right? I know we've done the Jeff Foxworthy definitions before, so I'm going to give you another one for this, right? What's another Jeff Foxworthy definition of an engineer?
I don't know.
Is it,
what is it?
You might be an engineer if you think that when people around you yawn, it's because they didn't get enough sleep last night. There you go. I understand. I laugh at my own joke. It's absolutely terrible.
Wow, that was just I think that's awful. The cream of the crop of just horrible. It's
absolutely awful. But I went with it anyway because that's who I am. All right, folks. So today we want to talk to you guys about a brand new set of tools for the Civil 3D world that we have just released here at ZenTek, and they are called ZenPipe for Civil 3D pressure networks. And to help tell you guys about them, we have Cyndy Davenport, our resident expert in all things CAD and Civil, back on the show with us again. So, Cyndy, thank you for coming back on the podcast today.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! She's so thrilled to be here.
But I'm still trying to get past that joke.
Okay, fair enough. I was going to say, if you hadn't shown up, you wouldn't have heard that joke, which may have been a good thing.
I'm just kind of wheeling from it.
Just talking about throwing a hand grenade into the middle of a shell. What a terrible joke. All right, so Cyndy is the lead civil tech specialist here at ZenTek, and she is the person who actually did all of the working and designing and developing of the ZenPipe tools. So, letting you guys, or letting her tell you guys about it, just kind of seemed like the logical course of action. So, before we get into the details on ZenPipe for pressure networks, let's give Cyndy a chance here to kind of reintroduce herself to the audience. So, Cyndy, why don't you tell everybody, how did you get into the civil design world, and what bad life choices left you stuck working with Rocco and I and listening to my jokes?
Okay, so if you really want to know, back in the day when I was going for my engineering degree, I envisioned my future would involve designing spaceships. That's the kind of engineer I wanted to be.
Nice.
But I got into civil engineering through a friend of mine. Her father got me a job. He owned a construction company, and he got me a job with a civil engineering surveying company. And so there I learned how to draft, and I learned about civil engineering designs, drafting on the boards, of course, with the ink and Mylar. A couple years later, computers came in. They got 2 CAD computers. Put them down in the basement, and I got to get on one of them. Had something called AutoCAD installed on it, and also
I've heard of
something called DCA, which was the predecessor to Sofdesk, which was the predecessor to Land Desktop, which was the predecessor to Civil 3D. And I thought that was all the same program anyway. Nobody knew anything about computers back then. But anyway, I learned how it worked. I figured it out, and then I taught other people how it worked. And then I became the person who figured out why it didn't work on occasions and how to fix things that people inadvertently messed up. So I became that person, and I've been that person for the past few decades in some way, shape, or form. And I even participated in authoring a few Civil 3D books along the way. So about a year ago, I was looking for a new opportunity, which I could capitalize off my skill set, but it didn't involve airplanes or hotel rooms. And, nothing wrong with that. It's been decades doing that, but I'm up in years and I would like to stay home for a while and be with my family. And so people can rely on me. you know. And so I ran into ZenTek. ZenTek was looking for somebody with my skill set, and I do everything that I've done over the past few decades remotely through the magic of Zoom or Teams or whatever tool that we use for talking to people across the country. And so, it worked out great. The planets were aligned.
Nice. And I said, I'm a big fan of working remotely and not traveling anymore myself. I am also up there in years and tired of that crap. So, all right. So, one of the things that, I depend heavily on Cyndy for here at ZenTek is her ability to identify issues and concerns that our clients are having with those different civil systems that we deal with. All right. And to come up with better processes for, helping resolve those issues. And that's kind of where ZenPipe started, right? Cyndy saw a lot of folks really struggling with the development and layout of pressure pipe catalog data on their plans, and that the out-of-the-box Autodesk part families really didn't give them what they needed. And she felt that, we could develop a better, easier to use set of pressure-related parts that people could easily install and use on all their jobs. So we just told her to just, go ahead and put that together and we'll see where it leads. And that's where we got ZenPipe. So let's start there, Cyndy. So can you tell our listeners what ZenPipe for Pressure Networks really is?
All right. Well, ZenPipe for Pressure Networks consists of 2 catalogs at the moment. These catalogs are not based on material. They're not based on AWWA classifications or PSI ratings. They're just very simplified catalog. One catalog contains the bigger pipes and is based on typical part sizes for water main design, and the other one is based on smaller pipes, and it's used for service design. And they both contain bends, the 4 different types of bends that we usually use, reducing T's, reducing Y's, and reducing crosses, contain reducers, caps and plugs, and various valve types. And they also contain different hydrant types based on depths between 2 feet and 6.5 feet, I think. Yeah, 6.5 feet. So that's basically what it is. And it has all the sizes in it. It's not just maybe 2 sizes and then, you're on your own to figure out what other sizes you need and where to get them from. It has all the sizes in it, and they're all the reducing sizes. And, them being generic, you can use them for different uses. You don't have to have a material-based catalog or even a joint-based catalog. It's just one catalog you can use for anything.
Which is great. You guys will see Cyndy's a real big fan of flexibility and not locking people into only one way of doing things. So she tends to focus a lot on making things easy to use in a lot of various environments. So Rocco, obviously, right, we do a lot of work in the civil environment, and you talk to a lot of our large civil site clients. Do you find that pressure network design in Civil 3D is really still a big struggle for folks and they're looking for something easier to make it happen with?
If we were doing a video and I had a big whiteboard, I would write YES in big caps with exclamation points.
Oh, who are you kidding? Yeah, you don't know how to write. You don't spell. Come on.
Yeah, it's definitely a big area of frustration, an area that a lot of folks struggle with. So that's why we do what we do here, and that's why Cyndy developed this catalog.
There you go. All right. So look, I think, the key to any type of successful pipe tool is it's always going to be making sure that folks can get the pipe sizes they need for their jobs, and that they're easy to access and use on their projects. And look, at the end of the day, there are a countless array of pressure pipe sizes and components and pieces and so on the market. And there's just no way you can possibly cover every single one of them. But like I was saying before, right, Cyndy put a lot of work into identifying and developing the pieces that most folks in the industry need and use all the time, while still trying to maintain the flexibility to let you adapt it to whatever type of work you're doing. So Cyndy, you said you developed, right? We have 2 ZenPipe tool sets for different pipe and component sizing. So in each set, what sizes, so to speak, and are available in each of those sets?
Well, the catalog of bigger pipes contains the sizes 4 inches through 24 inches, which seems to cover most site design needs. In addition to the parts I rattled off earlier, the catalog contains hydrants and fire department connections, check valves, butterfly valves, gate valves, and air release valves. Now, the catalog of smaller pipes contains sizes between 1/8 inch to 3.5 inches. And we built this one based on client input, actually. So in addition to the long list of fittings I rattled off earlier, this one doesn't contain the hydrants, but it does contain check valves, butterfly valves, globe valves, and gate valves for those sizes.
Okay. So it kind of addresses, like you said, client needs, right? And getting the feedback from the people who are actually using it, which is always nice. So, Rocco, right? Yeah, look, ZenPipe is brand new, right? We're just releasing it, but I know you've been talking to folks, right? Now, are you seeing a difference in the level of interest between those two set sizes? Are there, more people interested in the smaller or the bigger, or are you finding it to be a pretty even split so far?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty even split. I mean, definitely talking to customers that are actually interested in both catalogs. So it all depends on the work that they're doing. I mean, there's some people that are even looking for larger sizes, and that's something that we're talking about for further development. But yeah, at all sizes, but for both catalogs at this moment.
Okay, good. All right, so a question that I'm sure everybody's thinking right now to kind of go along with, the idea of pipe sizes is pipe materials, because that's another important component to any, pressure-based system. Everybody wants to be able to set different materials on a job-by-job basis. And Autodesk in their database, it's a great database with a lot, and they've really gone to the extreme of providing, hundreds of different types of materials and components and pieces that are locked into these materials, but it doesn't always meet everyone's needs, right? As far as the material section and controls go. So Cyndy kind of went a different route, right? So Cyndy, let's put it this way, right? What materials have been included with ZenPipe tools, and why did you choose to kind of set the materials up the way you did?
All right, so I did not associate materials to the ZenTek pipe tools. These are generic. If you need a ductile iron pipe, if you need to use that, you can use these. If you need PVC, you can use these. If you need HDPE, you can use these. They're meant to work in any environment, because typically over the years, when we put together our plans, we represent pipe in plan with a straight line. If it's a big pipe, it might be double lines. In profile, we usually show the pipe to the nominal diameter in profile. So, when they specify materials, they're doing it for the purpose of providing pipe thicknesses and also providing a description or an additional piece of metadata, right? So I went away from that. These are generic parts that can be used to represent any material. They will work in your civil engineering plans. Just no need for separate catalogs for different joints either. Joints are not modeled in this catalog. And, how often do we show joints for any pipe in plan or profile that we do? I mean, the only time I've shown joints was for when I did pump stations back in the day. And Civil 3D is definitely the wrong software to use for pump stations,
It is.
But yeah, these are generic, independent of material and joints, and it makes them very versatile and enables us to provide simpler part descriptions so that anyone can find what is needed. So the part descriptions are not those really long descriptions.
Yeah.
They're very short, like 6-inch valve.
Yeah.
8 by 6 inch T. You can find what you need very easily on the list.
Nice. Yeah, and that's exactly like I said. Kind of gave Cyndy the leading question because I know she went this route, and it is exactly what she says, right? It's about taking years of experience and practical use and kind of taking out the stuff that has been developed by software guys and kind of letting Cyndy, who's got 30 plus years of design experience, actually say, look, this is what we normally do on a real world job, and that's kind of how we wanted to focus this. So I like the way she did this. All right, so let's take a quick break here to get a commercial in. And when we get back, I want to talk about how ZenPipe gets installed and what level of configuration or customization we can achieve with it. All right. So stand by, folks. We'll be back in just a 1 minute with more of the Cattle Call Podcast. All right, everybody. Today's episode of the Cattle Call Podcast is brought to you by ZenTek Consultants. That's Rocco and I. We're bringing ourselves to you. Aren't we nice? So we wanted to talk to you guys today about some of the things that we offer at ZenTek Consultants. In particular, we wanted to talk to you today about our offerings around developing and upgrading your CAD standards. We are here to help you guys with all of your CAD standard needs, from ongoing drafting and design support to block and library development, full CAD standards development, right, CAD version upgrades, really whatever it is that you guys need when it comes to developing and implementing and tweaking your current CAD standards. Or like I said, if you don't have any yet, we can help you build them from scratch. So Rocco, why don't you tell all the good folks how they can reach out to us and start that conversation?
Yeah, there's a lot of information, people, on our website, ZenTekConsultants.net. That's ZenTek Consultants.net. Or you can give us a call, 866-824-4459, or even drop us an email, sales@ZenTekConsultants.net.
Ooh, nice. CAD standards from ZenTek Consultants. You're listening to the Cattle Call Podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cattle Call Podcast. We're talking with Cyndy Davenport, ZenTek's resident guru on all civil technologies, and the new product that she's developed for us called ZenPipe for Civil 3D Pressure Networks. And in this half of the show, I want to talk about how users can install the ZenPipe tools, and also touch a bit on what you'll be able to do in terms of customizing it to your own needs on both a company-wide and on a project-specific level. So let's start with the process of installing and using this new ZenPipe system, right? And then we'll talk about configuration. So Cyndy, what's the process for people to install, access, or use these ZenPipe tools? And are they installed locally or on a network, or can it be either?
Well, when you now I can't talk. when you subscribe to this, you get the tools. It's packaged in an executable, and you know what you do with executables. You double click on it, and once you double click on it, it opens up and it prompts you for an installation location, but it displays the default path to the local pressure catalog location. So, if you're just working by yourself locally and you don't need to share the tools with anyone else, you can just install it in the default path. But if you set up a shared location, so where a team of people work, you can change that path in that dialog box and point it to that location so that it will install there.
There you go. So you can do it either way. That works. So look, one of the things that I really like about the way that Cyndy developed ZenPipe is that it's very easy, I think anyway, to integrate these new tools into your standard Civil 3D template. Right, and then use them to build pressure parts lists that can, show up automatically on every project for, consistent results and easy use and labeling and layout of your pressure components. So how about that, Cyndy? How do people go about adding and structuring ZenPipe into their existing design template?
Right, there's always the option of having ZenTek do that for you as a service, and it would be useful to do that if you wanted to put in even more enhancements like custom styles and stuff like that. But adding the parts to the template environment is very easy. All it takes is building a parts list, just pulling the parts in. We've developed a very short how-to video to show you how to do this.
Okay, nice. And that's on just, I think, the regular ZenPipe page, right? So you can hit it off of our ZenTek Consultants. If you go under software, the ZenPipe pressure for networks, or for pressure networks, there is the video right on that page. So it'll take you step by step through it. Cyndy put together a nice little how-to on that. Makes life simple. I like that. All right. So, like I was saying earlier in the show, right, there is no way to make a list of, every material and size and component that's going to meet every single person's needs on every single project, right? And it's, great that, ZenPipe comes with, like Cyndy was saying earlier, a bunch of the most common sizes, right? And you can adjust materials as you need. But there's always going to be the need to add more or different items that come up on a specific job. Or if you're, maybe your company focuses on a very specialized type of work and you want to make it a repeatable, process or label set that you want to use again and again. And Cyndy put a lot of effort into making sure that this system was not just editable, but pretty easily editable to your own needs. So Cyndy, what do folks do with ZenPipe if they want specific materials or joint types, et cetera, to be included for their work?
All right. Again, if somebody needs specific catalogs with custom metadata, such as material or joint type, ZenTek can customize this information for those who ask for it. But if people are brave, they can use the content catalog editor to make those adjustments. But the content catalog editor can be a bit tedious and inflexible to use in certain areas. For instance, you can't make changes to the material list. You're stuck with what they provided, like creosote wood and brick pipes and all. I mean, and you can't change that. If you try, you end up breaking it. But
even the slightest change in there breaks everything in that system.
Yeah, but there are ways to edit the catalog to get any end result needed, and that's something ZenTek can take care of for people.
Okay. One of the things that I have seen people struggle with over the years in the pressure pipe workflow for Civil 3D is, working with, we'll call it display and labeling, right? And getting the settings to get output that isn't covered with the excessively long and cumbersome naming conventions that come with your Civil 3D parts database, right? I mean, anybody who's listened and done this, if you have ever wished that you could go in and label something on a plan or profile as, oh, this is an 8-inch T, right? Instead of running it through the standard Civil 3D structure and it is labeled as a T, 8-inch by 8-inch by 8-inch by 150 PSI, schedule 80, PVC, bell end, model 4, or some other crazy long component name, right? That's the kind of stuff that ZenPipe can really help you with, and Cyndy set that up to be able to modify it to better labels and structures pretty simply. So what options do people have kind of in that space, Cyndy, to make it label a little bit more rationally?
So part descriptions populate the part list using very simple and user-friendly terminology. And that terminology can be populated in a label. They're very succinct description, and they can be easily pulled into labels. In fact, you could create one label style that would take care of all of your fittings because it's going to read those very succinct descriptions and display those for you. Symbology is built into the catalog. All right, not only the 3D part, but symbology is also built in, and this can be displayed through the object styles using the display as centerline option in the style, and this is shown in that getting started video I mentioned earlier.
There you go. All right, so Rocco, right? So now, right, your turn for the important sales part of the discussion. What does ZenPipe cost, and how do people go about getting it or getting more information on it?
Yeah, we sell it as a perpetual license. It's $495, and then we also sell annual maintenance with each license. That's optional, but we recommend it. It's $99, and if you buy that annual maintenance, then when we come out with new versions of the tools, you automatically get access to them, and we also include support. And you could either buy it off of our e-store right at our website, zentekconsultants.net. Or if you're looking to buy multiple licenses, just reach out to us, sales@zentekconsultants.net, and we'll work something out with you. Or if you want to get into some of the customization that Cyndy was talking about, again, email us or give us a call.
There you go. All right, so I'm gonna let Cyndy, most of the last word here. And is there anything else, Cyndy, that you wanted to kind of tell folks about ZenPipe for pressure networks that I didn't get to ask you on today's show?
Well, we covered just about everything, but I just want to say that we're open to suggestions to add and improve. I envision the catalogs constantly growing and improving over time, just like the applications that we use. So I'd like to eventually add a few additional pipe sizes to the bigger catalog to cover large-scale water, wastewater projects. But just if anyone has any suggestions, we're just open to listening.
Yeah, that's how we make all our decisions, right? We get you guys what you need. So good point. All right, so there you have it, folks. ZenPipe for Civil 3D pressure networks is available for you to order today, and it's a tool that I think everybody working in the civil world needs. And I just want to thank you, Cyndy, for taking the time to explain the product for everybody today. So appreciate your being here. And I have no doubt that you're going to be back soon, right? As you update and we release more tools and products into the civil CAD space. So, all right, folks. Everybody have a wonderful day, and we will catch you next time on the Cattle Call Podcast. All right, everybody. Today's Cattle Call was brought to you courtesy of ZenTek Consultants. That's Rocco and I. ZenTek Consultants works with design and manufacturing firms to help our clients purchase and implement the software that they need in these complex industries. We provide a single point of contact for clients to buy, develop, and learn the most vital software systems for your specific needs. ZenTek strives to be your trusted technology partner from your initial needs all the way through long-term support and training for your entire staff. So Rocco, why don't you tell them how to reach out to ZenTek?
All right, yeah, you can reach out to us through zentekconsultants.net. You can email us at sales@zentekconsultants.net, or you can even call us 866-824-4459.
Excellent. We look forward to hearing from you all.